Hi, I'm Libra. Welcome to your July 2020 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description of the video for more details there. As far as what's in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. And these are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards with some additional insight. That's where the bridge and the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot. On the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And keep in mind it's a general reading too, so while I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy, if you feel more like the cards on the right sound like your energy and the cards on the left sound like the other person's, then definitely trust that as well. Alright? So, starting with the past energy on your side, we have a lot of cards that came up. We have the Seven of Arrows, which is Aquarius energy. Awakening, which is the equivalent of the Sun card. Illusion, which is the equivalent of the Moon card. And Ten of Staves, which is the equivalent of the Ten of Wands, Sagittarius energy. So, I mean, this is an interesting mixture of energies. I could see this going a couple different ways, though. For some of you, this could just be saying that, you might have been deceiving yourselves in some way. Maybe you saw something that was a bit off about the connection, or you felt something was a bit off, but you just weren't communicating it to the person. So, you were just moving along as if everything was fine, but really you had these concerns that you wanted to express. And if we look at her facial expression, if I could get it to focus, she doesn't look like she's that happy, right? So I feel like this is saying, you might have just seen some things going on that you weren't too comfortable with. And then with the Sun, it could just be saying where maybe it just got to the point where you couldn't ignore it anymore, and you actually started to, see that, yes, there might have definitely been some deception at play. And then you just had that burden with you, because I feel like even if you did get proof that there was something going on, I feel like this is saying that you probably didn't communicate it, because this representing Sagittarius, that's your house of communication. With that Ten of Wands energy, we think of that burden. So that's why I feel like could be going on there. And then for others of you, this could just be saying that you might have actually been the one who was being deceptive in the connection. And in that case, you could be coming to that realization that, oh, wait a minute, actually, I was the one who was being a bit deceptive and not, being clear in my intentions and having that burden for that reason. And this all might have come up for you around the time of that Sagittarius full moon eclipse we had a few weeks ago, since that was in your house communication. And I mean, you guys also had Venus retrograde too, which is your ruler, so it might have had a heavy impact on you in combination with that eclipse. Alright, past energy on their side, we have the Four of Swords, the Devil, the Six of Pentacles, and the Three of Swords. So we actually have two Libra cards here, so this could definitely represent your energy for some of you. The Four of Swords is Libra energy, so is the Three of Swords. Now, I'm almost getting a similar vibe here in a way too. Now, for this energy though, which I think is the other person, but like I said, could be you since we see two Libra cards. What I feel like this could be saying is, someone might not have healed from a situation, might have jumped into a connection, and, a sexual connection, I feel, primarily, hoping that it would heal heal them and get them back in balance, but really wasn't actually doing the job, So, I mean, like I said, we did just have a Venus retrograde. Could have been something that took place where maybe the two of you had some healing that you needed to do. Maybe you actually were drawn to each other and thought to yourselves, oh, okay, if we, maybe this will help me get over the past, right? And if it's the case, it looks like it might have failed for both of you. Now, I do have to say another way this could be playing out, especially for those of you where I mentioned where maybe you felt like there was some deception coming from them and you turned a blind eye to it. What this could be saying there is that, with this devil energy, they definitely might have been stepping out and dealing with other people, and then basically on more of a karmic basis that might have backfired on them, leading to that Three of Swords energy for them. So kind of heavy energies in the past, so this probably won't be one of those readings that will resonate for all of you, probably for a small portion of you, but Hopefully some of that resonated. Present position on your side, we have Innocence, which is the equivalent of the Fool card, and the Seven of Cups. So in a way, I could see this being some of the same energy for some of you, which is to say you might still be turning a blind eye to it, saying like, okay, yeah, I know all these things are going on, but, just talking your way out of it and turning a blind eye to it. The reason I say turning a blind eye to it is because we see, if I could get it to focus, the guy with the flute has a blindfold on, so that's what leads me to think that could be what's going on there, where it's like, okay, you kind of have all these things going on that just are choosing not to see for whatever reason. And for others of you, this can just be saying that, for those of you where you might have come to the realization that you might have been the ones who were the ones being deceptive, that could be saying that you're taking a leap of faith and trying to fix things with this person. And maybe because, you find that you just can't get them out of your mind as well. That could be what's at play there. Because if we look at that figure there, it looks like they're not present in the room. So to me, that represents it's definitely someone that's on your mind, just not physically there. Present energy on their side, we have the Six of Swords. So more Aquarius energy here. With this energy, I'm really picking up on, in a traditional Six of Swords sense, that means usually moving to calmer waters. So I really feel like this is saying that this person is trying to put the whole situation behind them. Now, that could play out two ways, right? Where for some of you, it's saying that they feel like they're ready to cut their losses and they'd rather not even pursue anything further with you. But for others of you, it could just be saying that they're trying to put it behind them, and similar to where you might be coming from, which is to say, okay, let's put that all behind us and start fresh, right? So that's how it could be playing out for some of you. And in the future position, we have the Eight of Cups. So here we see at least a little bit more alignment, which is to say that I feel like no matter what scenario you guys were fitting into in that past and present position discussion, I feel like this is saying that regardless of what group you're in there, you probably will come to the conclusion that, this just isn't the right connection for you. So I feel like you guys will be getting that closure. And, that kind of makes sense too, because again, like I said, that Venus retrograde might have really thrown you guys for a loop since that's your ruler. And it was in your ninth house too. So, just could have been some tricky energy there. And maybe as it clears its shadow towards the end of July, that might be when you finally come to the realization like, okay, yeah, we got to this point, but really we're just not a good fit in the long run. So that's why I see there. So it's like some of you might be walking away from the connection. And future energy on their side is the Ten of Swords. So, that is almost self-explanatory. Now, this is another indicator for me that for the majority of you that I definitely do see it ending. But with the Ten of Swords on their side and just the artwork speaking for itself, looks like they would be disappointed about it. And that's the interesting thing too with that Six of Swords energy, because the artwork, like I was saying in the traditional tarot, represents moving away from a situation. But at the same time, they have a bunch of swords in the boat. So it's like wanting to put it behind you, but not really, you know what I mean? Like, I'm leaving, I'm totally leaving, but they're not really leaving, you know what I mean? One of those situations. So could just be one of those things. I feel like, quite frankly, though, it doesn't, for those of you where this does resonate, it doesn't like either of you were happy in the situation. Like I said, for some of you, this could have been a rebound thing for both of you, where maybe you were both, fresh out of another connection, came across each other and, maybe had that sexual connection, but thinking, oh, okay, this will help me get over the situation, and then it might not have worked out that way. But either way, it looks like you guys, neither of you look to be happy in the connection, so it's probably kind of overdue in that regard, but that's what I'm seeing there. And the bottom of the deck on your side, we have Two of Staves. So this definitely is that fresh start energy. Mars is just about to go into Aries, which this represents, and that's your opposite sign. So it could just be one of those things where you might be re-energized to actually go out there and look for the right connection for you. So yeah, for a small percentage of you, this could be saying that you might get that fresh start with this person. But really, I feel like for 80% of you where the story resonates, this is saying that you're going to be moving on from that connection. And the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Hangman. So to me, I feel like this is just another indicator that, yeah, they probably weren't happy either, but at the same time, they weren't taking any action to end it. So that's why I feel like this is saying that for a lot of you, you're going to be the ones who actually do end it. I feel like they were like, not necessarily happy, but not taking action to end it either. So kind of a crazy reading, but hopefully that's resonated to this point. We'll see if we get anything from the Oracle cards next. First, we'll see if we get anything from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck. And here I'm going to be looking for some jumpers as far as unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if nothing comes up after a while of shuffling, I'll just take that as a sign to move on to the next deck, since it's just a general reading. And I did pre-shuffle the deck before we started recording too. But let's see if we get anything. Like I said, first looking for unspoken messages from you to them. Actually got one there, but it fell. So before I pick that up, we'll next see if we get any unspoken messages from them to you. So let me shuffle for a bit for that. Okay, nothing coming up yet, but I'll give it a few more shuffles. Okay, nothing came up there, but let me go pick up the card for your side. Give me a second. Okay, so the card we got for your side is I feel damaged, like I just can't do this. So, I mean, I definitely could see where that would be the case with the past energy that I was talking about, where, like I said, it might have been one of those things that you were just turning a blind eye to a situation for a while. And, like I mentioned, the body language and her facial expression with that Seven of Swords, definitely not looking happy. So for the majority of you, I feel like this is just saying that these are things that you left unsaid, and then that 10 of staves representing the burden of keeping that all in too. So I could definitely see where that would be the case. But hopefully that resonated with you. And finally, we'll see if we get anything from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And same situation here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, but I'm just looking for one card here, and we'll wrap up. Alright, nothing's coming up, so I'll give it a few more shuffles. Worst case, nothing comes up, we will pull a random card from here. Okay, yeah, so let me put the deck down for a minute. And just tune in for a second, we'll pull a card. Okay. We have Yang. There's the artwork, and the number is 1. Okay, it says the masculine principle of movement and creative activity, the power to make things happen, taking action. The Oracle's message: Yang represents the power of action, the energies that propel the world forward, and manifesting thought and desire into concrete form. Now is the perfect time to act, for you can easily build momentum and make headway. What you want will come to fruition if you proceed confidently. This card signifies new life and is a sure sign that obstacles have been overcome. There is no reason to hesitate. You are the shaper of your destiny now. So definitely an interesting message there, and at the very least, I feel like the Yang energy was where I was saying I feel like for the majority of you, it looks like you're going to be the ones who end up ending the connection, but hopefully that resonated with you guys. And the relationship message says circumstances are supporting action on your part. It's okay to make the first move. Trust that you will quickly know where you stand. In matters of the heart, there is movement toward your highest good, so go forth with assurance. Passion is in the air, and now is the time to dance to the tune of love. Take the lead. So, interesting message there, especially where it says, trust that you will quickly know where you stand. So, I feel like that's saying that, if you guys do try to talk things out, which, like I said, it looks like that might have been overdue for some of you. It looks like you'll get your answer there. Like I said, for the majority of you, it looks like this will be ending. Maybe for a very small percentage of you, it could actually just be saying that you guys do decide to put it all behind you and start over. But like I said, kind of a weird reading, but hopefully it resonated for those of you where this is your storyline. And we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.